you on your radio right here on Women Radio 91.7. And why would we? Because we are Nigeria's first and only radio station for women and their families. It's a full house today, and if you do not know, I'm letting you know. I definitely will go around the table because our ladies are right here in the studio with us. But you must also know that we're streaming live on our YouTube and our Facebook page. So if you want to match the audio with the visual, you get to do that right now and this morning. Once again, I am Miracle Phillip, and you can get to listen to us live from wherever you are across the globe. Just in case you're having an issue with, getting the frequency, these things can happen sometimes. Go on to our website, www.wfm917.com. Follow us on Facebook, on X, on Instagram, on YouTube at WFM917. And yes, if you do want to send a message, you want to call in, you also want to send a message, yes, call in as well. The phone lines are very much available to you this morning. 07000 917 or 9155 Our toll free number for women 0800 and then we have our text and WhatsApp line 08155 917 6537. All right, let's get through with introducing our ladies this morning. It's not virtual, it's physical. And I get to see my ladies, all beautiful, glitz and glamour. Good morning to you, Ibinabo Dixon.
Yeah, your energy, it has no pair. Good morning, Miracle Phillip. Good morning to all the beautiful ladies here seated, and good morning to all our valued listeners. It's my pleasure to be here.
Always a pleasure to have you join us,
Thank
Ibinabo
you.
Dixon. We also have with us Buki Femi Ajala. I know when I say BFA, she says, hey, there's it's Olubokala.
No, but BFA is a brand, so and it's a
Yes.
strong brand, and I'm comfortable with that. Yes,
Mm,
but as Nigerians, we should be proud of our name. So
exactly.
Oluwabukolami. Aha. So she's in
Mm-hmm.
the house.
Yes, she's here.
And happy International Women's Day, to
Yes.
all the amazing women that are here. Powerful people are here.
Yes.
I salute. And of course, Panorama family, how are you doing? How are you doing? I'm sure you're great, 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 great.
You're doing great, and we're glad to have you join us today.
Thank
And yes, I
you.
told you that it's a full house. We have even more powerful women too, alongside our ladies joining us. We have Pastor Olu Bemisola Ogunbawo.
Wow.
Good morning to
Good
you.
morning. You tried to pronounce the name.
Thank
The
you.
name is Olugbemi Sola Ogunbanwo. It's
Okay.
nice to be here.
Thank you
you.
so
It's
much.
nice meeting you, Miracle.
Thank you so much for joining us. And we also have with us a very powerful woman as well, Ma'am Ismat Olabisi Ogundiran. Good morning to you, ma'am.
Good morning, my sister. It's a pleasure of meeting you. And I'm
Thank
very
you.
grateful for being here.
Thank you for joining us. Okay, so today we are having conversations to commemorate the International Women's Day, and that's why we have a full house. And one thing that will resonate well is the fact that we at Women Radio 91.7, we are all about pushing the cause of the woman agenda. And as far as having conversations that concern the women, we do not take the back seat, we take the front seat. And having these crop of women here in the studio, we're going to be talking about the importance of women in the community, the empowerment of women in the community, and the need for support from the state government and the local government level as well. But just before we delve in, we have a report, and we're going to have that discussed right here because it also will form part of what we're talking about. Women Radio 91.7 is calling for the passage of the special seats bill to increase female political representation. On July 9th, the bill sponsored by Benjamin Kalu, the deputy speaker, and 12 other lawmakers passed the second reading in the House of Representatives. And in a statement on Friday, we made it known that the House should pass this bill, making it, go smoothly for Nigerian women, because it will address the persistent gender imbalance in political offices. We must not forget that, what we've seen play out in the past few days have also shown us the systemic barriers limiting women's participation in governance. And anybody would agree that, oh, maybe if we had more women, the turn of the discussion and the narratives that are being sold would have been a lot more different. And so that's why we're going to be having this discussed today, because we as a radio station, as a media house, are proposing to reserve 37 seats for women in the Senate from this bill, and 74 in the House of Representatives, and 108 across state assemblies, to provide women with greater opportunities to influence policy making and governance. And yes, we start up the discuss proper. I'll start with you, Binabo Dixon, as we delve in. It's very important for
It
us to
is
have women
absolutely.
in
It is
governance.
absolutely.
Mm,
Yeah, let's look at statistics now.
yeah.
I was able to get an information that in 2015 and 2019, the two elections,
Mm,
there were 7 female senators against 109 senators.
mm,
So we are talking about, as of then, we're talking about, you know, 7 women speaking, probably, if there's a form of disagreement, speaking, in away from those who share their thoughts, away from the thoughts of the men.
mm.
If you remove 7 from 100, what do you have? You have 102.
Yes.
And in the house, when they want to pass anything, they say, those who say, hey,
Hey.
and they will all scream, yay.
Yes.
So, even if the women would want to say nay,
Mm,
nobody gets to hear, because the yay will have it. And it has been ongoing forever. Now, that was 2015, 2019. Now, fast forward 2023, that was this thing, the election, the night assembly.
yeah.
That is 2019, 2023,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So you can imagine, we had 8 female senators, and it is, it's like the number fluctuates. We know, and we are so unsteady. We are not deliberate about making sure that women are voted into these high offices. You see, when I look at the whole of this, what came to my mind was COVID-19 lockdown.
Mm,
During the lockdown, Women Radio was actively involved in giving out palliatives. I was part of it.
mm,
And personally, I did my own palliative. And you see that the ones government brought, it wasn't enough anyway. It was, you don't want to even go there in terms of the quantity. But if you're looking even at the content, there was nothing that addressed the very personal issues of women and girls.
mm,
Are we saying that after you have eaten, when it is time for your monthly period, you should just do what? You should hold it back,
mm.
because nobody thought of that. So if they had enough women on board the committee that came up with such policies, definitely the women would have suggested that, hey, as we give them food, don't forget to give them some toiletries,
Yes.
some, materials we need to take care of ourselves when we are going through the monthly due, or whatever we call it. Now, that gives a lot of clarity that if we do not have women on board, let us even start with the 35% affirmative action. It became a problem. For me, we need to take this. You see, this campaign, we not just start and rest with maybe the National Assembly alone or the politicians alone. The family is the microcosm of the society.
Mhm.
So if you want anything done and done well, and record a very high success, you have to take the campaign to the family. Because I looked at it and I told myself, I can't imagine having an uncle who is always against the female child. Me not go vote for them.
Mm.
So what's happen? So you see, we should take it back to the family. Take it back to the mothers. How are you even raising your boys? How are you as a father, the head of the family? Everybody bears your surname. How are you raising your family?
Mm.
What values are you instilling in your children? What value do you even have as a man, as a head of the family? So when we start from there, take it to the very grassroots. Because you see, we live in a world, in a country where, yes, it is highly patriarchal, and also the fact that men have always been at the aim of affairs right from time immemorial. So it became a culture. So that culture has become adamant. It has refused to be broken. But I tell you, we're not going to relent.
Mm.
We're not going to just sit back and watch it continually being perpetrated. We are going to keep speaking against it. And I appreciate the fact that we have senators. We have members of House of Representatives, 11 of them,
Mm.
who are agitating for women to be well represented in the hallowed chambers.
Yes.
And that is what we are standing for. Because I'm a mother, I have boys, I have girls. So, and I wish all of them, above all things, that they prosper
Yes.
in their various endeavor.
Mm-hmm.
So, if my daughter decides to be a politician, am I going to sit back and watch some men push her to a corner?
No.
Because and also we must change the mindset. And what is the mindset? The mindset that for a woman to rise, to rise to a high office, she must have compromised something. It is not true. It is not true. It is not every woman who has attained such respectable heights, whether in her profession or in whatever she does, that has probably, compromised her dignity or whatever.
Mm.
It is not always true. I don't even agree to that. And sadly, some women believe that. Why do they believe that?
Mm.
Because they will have discussion with their husbands at home. And the man will say, don't mind them. They have gone to sleep with this and that.
Yeah.
It is not true. Woman, that is an agenda to tether you. Because when a husband tells the wife that, you see that because she's what? Don't mind them. They have all gone to sleep here and there. It discourages the wife. She doesn't want to come out. She doesn't want anybody to perceive her as someone who had sold her body for
Mm-hmm.
an office. So we have a lot to talk about on this. But what I'm saying is, let's take this campaign to the families. Because when we start from there, I believe that we're going to be making very, very strong,
Mm.
shift in this very ugly situation that we are in.
Yes.
Women are powerful. Women are intelligent. We have women who they are trailblazers. How could anyone, by the way, please, women, men are being at the forefront. Kilo Jassy. Nothing. We are here. We are struggling to feed.
Mm.
Nigerian woman will go to the market and she will go back home frustrated. Marriages, we are having more divorce cases now than ever before.
Mm.
Why? Because the man cannot provide and it feels too high, too big to tell the woman, look, you know what it is. I can't afford this. So the problem is hydra headed, but we have solutions. Let us take this journey, this campaign to the family.
Mm.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ibinabo Dixon, for your thoughts this morning. If you've just tuned in, this is 25 minutes past 9 on your Women Radio 91.7, and it is a roundtable discussion as we commemorate the International Women's Day. Yes, it happened on Saturday, but the conversations will not stop, and we're looking at the importance of women in community. We have Ibinabo Dixon here with us, Buki Femi Ajala. I'm going to bring the conversation now to Pastor Olugbemisola Ogunbawon, the chairperson, Ereko Area CDC, Ogun State Community Development Council member representation. Now, Pastor Olugbemisola, for you to have gotten to this point, it means that you broke through the stereotypes that were existent to your becoming a rep, and one woman that a lot of young girls would look up to and say, oh, if Pastor Olugbemisola could do this, I can do this too. what was it like for you? And what challenges have you had to face to still be that voice that you are?
Thank you very much. Uh, I'll start this way. That the Bible says, with God we can do all things.
Mm,
So God in me had helped me thus far,
mm,
and because I was brought up bold and well educated and with good manners, and inside of me, myself, my person is to see girls, ladies. In fact, I have some mentors that I look up to,
mm,
and I, when I started growing up, I began to tell myself, if this woman can get to this level, if this woman can do this, then I can do it. And I began one after the other. There are challenges, just like Ibn Abbas said the other time, that people will say it's because of those are the challenges. They will tell you, you get to some places and they will look down on you, you are a woman. Then the mentality of men looking at women are found in the kitchen. They wouldn't want to give you way. But with Christ, and with that inborn and the self-determination that I will get there. So those are the things, and gradually, doing one or two things, challenging people, encouraging people, and doing things that are related with women.
mm,
No matter what, you see some other women that say, no, that's good, that's good, that's good. Then, you begin to see some support.
mm,
Then, most importantly, I want to thank my husband. He actually supported me
mm,
and he helped me. He
mm,
encouraged me a lot. A lot of times, people will tell him those things that Dixon Ibinabo was talking. And
mm,
your wife, can't you say? He said, don't worry. I did not send you to
Go and monitor her for me.
to monitor my wife for me. So just leave her. That is what she knows how to do. And
mm,
let her just do. And
mm,
because I believe in her, I know that she'll get to the top.
mm,
And gradually, God was helping me. So those are the things. And I want to thank God that so far, so good. Just like we know,
mm.
women are powerful.
Yes.
We have that leadership skill inside of us. It's inborn, it's embedded in us, because for a woman to have a pregnancy for 9 months is a strength
Mm,
that no man has. Men don't have such strength. And bringing forth after the 9 months, they will run. Is a natural thing. And even taking care, as a women, we have the capability to do too many things at the same time. And that is inborn strength that we need to continue to build and to preach
mm,
to other women who are timid, who are still believing that, I'm a woman, no, I cannot do this, I cannot do that. So those things are there, for you to train your child, for you to, at the same time, a woman is pregnant, you see them. At times when I go on the street and I see pregnant women carrying things on their head, still going to the market
mm,
and doing so many things, is an unusual strength that God has given unto us. And we can, that strength also, we can also translate it to political strength and all of those things that will bring about change in the life of other women
mm,
and that will encourage them. One of the women that encourages me most is Mommy Pastor Mrs. Ibukwawoshika.
mm,
She's a powerful woman. And I looked up unto him. And I know that God in us, because he who feels this knows it. We are the women. We
mm,
know what we are going through, and we know what is happening in our lives, in our
mm,
homes, in the life of our children, in the society, everything. We know it. So when we get to the level of authority, when we get to the place that we can speak for women, we know what to talk. We know what to say.
mm,
And when we are many, then the more we are, the merrier it becomes. So I want to believe that as we continue to encourage other women, as we continue to preach the gospel, as we continue to, encourage them and talk to them, I know that more women will be bold enough to come up and they also can join the team of
mm.
women who are doing great things in our society, in the community, and in Nigeria in general.
Mm. Thank you so much, Pastor Olugbemi Sola. There were very important points that you stated that I would draw up to expand this conversation. You talked about the role your husband played, and there are lots of women who think to themselves, "I wish I had a husband like Pastor Olugbemi Sola, who would support me, who would say you can do this, who would stand by me, who would not hide when the whole turbulence comes." Because at the end of the day, I mean, it may not be in the news out there, but there are women who actually leave their husbands because they're not supportive of their dreams. And if it means having to be in a political space where you be a voice for women, then they want that support as much as possible. And it even tells us how important we need to have more he's for she in this day and time. Now, Buki, I'll come to you. Someone dropped a message and he said, and this is here for the saga. It says, I don't think there would be a way some of these greedy politicians would allow women to get to their political career. This started for long. Besides, women don't even like one another in terms of who to get there first as a woman. He said, quote me anytime and I stand to be corrected. Men are always the ones dominating the political offices. Since the days of my grandfather, women rarely have voices in terms of any election and vice versa. And I'm sure that someone also having the thought of, and also if you go back into school systems as well, you see that even young girls are struggling. Before you see an SUG president that is a woman, it's hard. There's always that giving her the vice, the deputy, and all of that. I'd like for you to speak to this booking.
All right, thank you very much. It's always good to identify the problem
Mm,
so that one can profile the solution appropriately and effectively. I totally agree, from a perspective
mm,
that women do not support women. And is a quote.
mm,
I was somewhere over the weekend, in fact, on International Women's Day, and the question popped that there are some women that vie for elections, and women, instead of voting for them, they will vote for the men. You understand?
mm,
That's the truth. I don't have the statistics of how many women, I'm not even talking about at the presidential level.
mm,
Let's even come to local government. Let's come to the House of Rep. And
mm,
I know some women, that went for it. And women did not vote for them. It's a brutal fact. So, what do we need to do? And I think that is where we need to take the conversation to. Because one, women have been sold, and I think Ibn Abbas mentioned it, women have been sold this idea that you cannot get to that area. And a lot of them are still operating with that mindset. So we need to break that mindset. We need to shatter it. That is a wrong mindset that you're holding. If you Pastor said, if you can, take leadership role in the house in terms of when we talk about leader, what are we talking about? Decision making skills,
mm,
problem solving. There's a problem at home, you solve it, isn't it?
mhm,
Critical thinking skills.
mhm,
Abby,
mhm,
Shekina,
yeah.
so we are saying that we have that capacity. The only thing that we need to is just to upskill. We're talking about accelerate action. For me,
Mhm,
what does that mean? We are saying accelerate action on your leadership skills and move into your spheres of influence. Yes, I totally agree that not all of us will go into the political scene, but for those who want to go into the political scene, please just get up. Even if your husband is not like pastor, pastor's husband, you understand? Even if, though, you need to have a support system. That's the truth. You understand? But we see some that, hey, they don't have. So what do? You've got to get up if you have that conviction, and they will come around to say, "Oh, we didn't know that this was what you wanted to do. Now we're supporting you." But then, even as we talk about this affirmative action, women, let's talk to ourselves. I know there are a lot of women listening. You understand? Even when they give you the seat, please do the needful,
mm,
make a difference. You understand? So that people coming behind will see you as a role model and say, if she can do this, positive influence, making impact, we're beautiful. So for me, yes, is in this day and age, we have to be beautiful.
Mm.
But that should not be the priority. It should be what is in our brain. What are we bringing to the table?
Mhm.
I will always say that during COVID, you mentioned it as well. Check the countries that were led by women. It was in terms of their critical thinking solution. They could think very well. And if you look at some African countries that seem to be making progress, today we keep talking about Rwanda. I
Mm-hmm.
had to quickly,
Yes.
I had to quickly do, a search.
Yes.
Rwanda, 60% of them are women.
Mm.
And do you know even where Nigeria is on the bottom? Last 3.9%. 3.9%. They listed all the African countries. Senegal is 46, Ghana is 14, Uganda 33, South Africa 45, a whole Nigeria. You understand? But we are not saying that put ladies there or whatever it is. What we are saying is that try and understand what we are saying. We are saying that we can contribute. If God who created us, the statistics for women and men globally is 50-50. Go and search. Even Nigeria, 49.1. So what does that tell us? That on the table of governance, whatever sphere of influence we have, there is a great contribution that women must make. And when they are not making it, because men will come from a perspective that a woman will come from differently. And we need both views, we need both mindsets. So women, please, let's vote for ourselves. Let's stop all these whatever. Let's vote for ourselves, because at the end of the day, the bills they pass, it's going to affect you positively. But if all the men are doing that, and I'll use this to wrap up, they were trying to build an international airport here in Nigeria. I will not mention. In the toilet, in the restroom for the women, there was no baby, whatever. What do you call that thing? They didn't think about it. It was when one of the so-called big people, they wanted to inspect and all that and all that. And then she entered and said, "Is this for women? Don't you know that women will have babies and they will have to change?" That was then it dawned on them that, oh, it's true. You understand? So what are we saying is that we are not fighting. This is not an issue of fighting. And we are not trying to say, what we are saying is that your views are always different from ours. Can we have both views so that the world will be in a better place? Thank you.
Thank you very much. So that the world can be in a better place. We will all agree that if a man and a woman enter a place, something is being built or set up, the woman would always think, oh, what is there for even my husband? What's there for me? What's there for my female daughter, my daughter? What's there for my son? That ability to look past just what that is why the woman should be there in the first place. We're having Hayford Osage from Iju Road still respond, says, yes, the analyst, I agree with you that you can break it, but only on what condition? If all the women speak with one voice, since women are more in majority than men. That's the conversation that a lot of people have had. If thought about in 2027, if we have all women supporting one person, if it's a woman, then that woman, it's very possible for that woman to become a president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now, I'm going to come to you, Binabo Dixon, but let me take this discourse right now to Ma'am Ismat Olabisi Ogundiran, the Vice Chairman, Igodo Area CDC, Magboro Women Representative, Obafemi Owode, Zonal CDC, Obafemi Owode, Ogun State. Ma'am, I'd like to know, you've been in this space, this area of control and authority. How can you rate the support you've gotten from the local government, and maybe even the state government as well?
Thank you very much. Firstly, I would really appreciate our Zona Chairman,
Mm.
the person of Engineer Adeboye Adeleke Boyega. He's really trying for the women this time around. He let us come on board.
Mm.
He did not neglect any one of us. So we have so many opportunity that will now be telling him that, Chairman, what about the women? We want something from the government, like empowerment, but we are still pressing the button. I know that during this eternal, we are going to achieve our aims there.
Mm.
So I believe that. But talk of the state level, you know, all these politicians, something, whenever they need women, they come to the community that we should help them, that they want to become this position or something like that. Even with the prayer, we do everything, assist them. But when they get to the post, they just neglect everybody. They won't recognize women again. So we don't want something like that again. We want them to bring us up because of all the abilities we have been trying on the men. Without men, without women, there's no man.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are giving a full support from day one. Let's say from the community level. Whenever they went out, go for their own job, but we still meet women in the community to know all the problems they are facing in the community. They come back and hear everything from us. But why? They're neglecting us. But I know that during this, our chairman, zonal chairman, women we are going to enjoy.
Mm.
So we need to keep on praying every time. Everything will be okay.
All right, thank you very much, ma'am, for sharing that with us and taking us down to what's happening around your area. Now to you, Ibinabo, I know you wanted to speak to that comment from from the message we received.
Okay, I was going to just add that from statistics, when you're talking about the population of those who fall within the voters' age and all of that,
Mm.
the duly registered voters,
Yes.
we have 51% women. So imagine 51% women gravitate towards a female candidate.
Mm.
What's going to happen? So we should begin. You see, it's not enough being 51% of voters' representation. It is enough when this is translated into voting for a woman. Do you understand? We're not here saying that just go pick any woman and vote for her.
At all.
No.
No.
Nigeria is full of women of substance. Pastor Gubawo mentioned somebody, and we all know a lot of women. We know a lot of women. Have you been in a space where Buki Femi Ajala is addressing the women?
Mm.
Have you been in a space where Pastor Gubawo is is addressing women? Have you been in a space where Chief Mrs. Olabisi Ogundiro? You see, I've seen these women. I don't joke. I've seen these women. I've seen how they performed. And she particularly mentioned the chairman of Obafemi Zonal CDC, engineer Boyega Deleke. That man, I will tell you, is a he for she man. But we need more men like that.
Mm.
She mentioned that her husband stands gidigba behind her and says, "Go ahead, I'm with you." If Buki's husband did not stand gidigba behind her, she wouldn't be here.
There will be problem.
If Chief Mrs. Olabisi Ogundiran's husband did not stand behind her, she wouldn't be here. And the same goes for me.
Mm.
Do you understand? How many men are supportive of their women's and their wives' ambition? They are mostly, you see, what the problem is that they are afraid. Why are you afraid? If you're so sure of yourself.
Mm.
Because, so she will become this now. She will not listen to me again in the house. She will do, no, it doesn't work like that. See, a woman can multitask. Oh, God help every Nigerian woman. She is a mother. When she gets to that mode of being a mother, you see somebody different. When she gets to the mode of being a wife, oh my goodness, you are seeing a very loving wife. When she gets to the mode of being a boss, she takes charge. That is the dynamism of a woman, a Nigerian woman. So why are we wasting this very fantastic, very great talent? Ask yourself as a listener. We have always had the men. I'm not saying the men, some men. Because we have men who will stand that if this woman qualifies, put her on board. So we have had some men in charge, and this is where we have found ourselves. You go to the market, you take 10,000 naira to the market. It's like you didn't go to the market, so you just strolled. You took a stroll to go and watch. What will you buy?
Hmm.
I stumbled on a list. You know, sometimes when I want to go to the market, I make a list, and when I buy, I put the cost against each item. There was a time I got an old book. My children will say, "Mommy, when you spend your money, you are." I say, "I'm accountable even to myself."
Yes, sir.
Now, she saw a list of some items bought so many years ago. And she just screamed, "Hey!" I said, "Hey, what?" She said,
Did
"Mommy,"
you
I
see?
said, "That is it." Ever since you don't grow up, you don't know, say, na so, na so, na so. You have been buying biscuits, buying ice cream and everything. How much do you buy? Did you buy ice cream 4 years ago? How much do you buy
Mm.
it now?
Even last year.
And we cannot heap the whole blame on the present government. It has been a gradual thing.
Yes.
Somebody came on board, messed it a little, another person came, messed it a little bit more,
Continuation.
until we got to this point. So, how about, see, if you want a change, you must change your tactics. We have been putting men there, Bookie. Let us talk to these people.
That's what I'm
These
saying.
are our lovely people.
We
We
have to
have
talk
been
to the
having men
women.
there. Kí ló ń ṣe fún wa?
Nothing.
Owó ọbẹ̀ ò tó nǹkan kan.
Yeah.
People are going to it is very sad, miracle. Wives go to the market and go and buy biscuit bone
Mm.
so that the stew will have a beef flavor.
At least.
It breaks my heart. People go to the market, you see some pomo, they're like, the pomo has eczema.
Hmm.
And people will eat it
Liberation it.
because it is cheaper. Let me digress a little bit, my dear women. Our health sector is sick. So now people are feeding on what shouldn't be
Eating
ingested.
Mm.
Do you know what's gonna happen? Because you are what you eat.
Yes.
When you continue to eat what is not right for your body out of lack of funds, what's gonna happen in the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years? Can the hospitals handle? Do you know how many women are down with cancer? When me are small, oh, all those big diseases were meant for some people.
Mm.
But now you go to the hospital, you see
Zero
some
level.
women, it's like, how did you even, where this thing, now big man disease, where this thing come from? Because women cannot afford to eat what is right. They just bring food, sha, let us eat. Somebody cooked rice and she said she had to close her eyes to eat it
Hmm.
because the rice had funny taste and funny smell, but it was cheaper.
God.
Government, you cannot lead corpses. You are going to lead living human beings. Are you going to kill all of us? Then who are you going to lead? There is need for us to look into this thing, and we have to be very, very deliberate about it. We have to be very intentional about it. We can't afford to go on like this. We need men, he for she. We need men who will stand for the women. We need men. Some CDCs in this Obafemi, I've seen some of them.
Mm.
Some of the men are not in support of the women. I see the way they treat their women leaders, and we have some men who they hold on to their women as if they are their children, their daughters, without meaning to maybe sound like. Let me mention one of them, Kazim Ganiu of Arequiria CDC. In his own little way, he supports women. We have mentioned Engineer Deleke. These are the people we know. And there are many like that. But some men are even shy to support women. They will call them woman rapper.
Mm.
So deep down in their souls, they want to support you, but in the open, they're going to stand against you because they don't want to feel less of a man. All this has to change. It has to change. Thank you, Miracle.
Thank you so much, Ibina or Dixon, for your thoughts this morning. And I know all of the things that you've shared, they resonate with a lot of women. They resonate with a lot of families. No matter how you want to look at it, the woman still has it's the inner potential she has. It's the to go manage the funds that she's being given. If you tell the man to take that money that is given the woman to go to the market, the rest is history. You know, it's story, like you said. But that's why we need more of, take us out of the narrative of it's just the kitchen and the other room, and give us the platform that is necessary for us to also push forward for the cause of women. When we have more women in power, well, I will say it again, when we have more women in power, we'll have less of the issues that we have to talk about every day. Oh, maternity leave. Oh, is it more opportunities for women to advance in their career? Is it provision for the women to be able to sow even if they have children? All these opportunities are the things that are available for women if we have more women representatives there. You know, so as we wrap up, I would like to get your thoughts, Buki.
Okay, yes. There are many touch points to this.
Mm.
Ibn Abba had mentioned a great one,
Mm.
and also our visitors too, because they are, from the practical, they are the field,
Yes,
and they have also done that. But I just want to stress this. Women, what do you want? A pot of soup that will last you for 3 days and a wrapper, or resources, sharing of the resources, allocation of the resources, such that you can always have that pot of soup anytime you want. You can have the best standard of living anywhere you want. Which one would you want? You see, let's get to the point where I think it's the Ebenebe women or whatever. I mean, in Anambra also.
Yes,
Though I
yes,
didn't
yes.
follow up their story even up
Mm.
till now.
Mm.
But we had the story that they rejected those gifts. We need to come to the point where we are saying that, sorry, we don't want your 10,000, we don't want your wrapper. We want what? Good governance. Because if you give me good governance, I know I will be good. My children will go to school. Everything will be fine. So can we just talk to ourselves? Women, this next election that is coming, even if we say for now, I'm just saying that for now, let us even look at the local government, because they are the ones closest to us.
Yes.
Then the House of Rep, you understand? Then the Senate. Any woman that comes out, and to be honest, anyone that comes out has that capability. That's the truth. So she herself is confident. Let's check the background and let's vote. Let's vote for her. Stop diverting your vote to men that will come and promise you one wrapper and 10,000 to cook soup for 2 days. When people that can do the job, whereby you have your pot of soup all the time, because why? The policies they bring is helping you out.
Thank you very much, Buki Femi Ajala. And even as you know, our CEO Tongo Kewale Shunaya says, she says that as Nigeria forges ahead in its development journey, ensuring women's representation in leadership is essential to unlocking the nation's full potential. Whatever you think Nigeria has, it's little compared to if we had more women administering this country. And that is what we want to see with the passage of this special seats bill. Thank you so much, uh, wonderful guests, for joining us today. We had a beautiful crop of them, and I love the fact that they had to be voices on Panorama today. Thank you so much, Pastor Olugbemisola Ogungbawo.
Thank you.
Chairperson Eriko Area CDC, Ogun State Community Development Council Member Representative. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chief Ismat Olabisi Ogundiro, Vice Chairman, Igodo Area CDC Magboro Women Representative, Obafemi Owode, Zonal CDC, Obafemi Owode, Ogun State. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Buki Femi Ajala, for today's conversation with you. And thank you, Irina Bondixon. Thank you for joining us today.
It's a pleasure.
All
Our
right.
pleasure.
So this is where we get to wrap it up on Panorama on your Women Radio 91.7. I am Miracle Philip, and I hope that you've gone into and you will go into the world and your communities with a different mindset. A woman in leadership is what we need. More women in leadership is paramount at this time. Up next is a repeat broadcast of Radio Doctor. Good morning.
To sponsor this program, Call the number 0816 480 7613.